Have you ever held on to something for too long? Not because it was good for you, but because letting go felt harder than staying. Sometimes we don't move on because we are weak. We don't move on because we once cared deeply. This is a story about that kind of strength. The strength that does not shout. The strength that quietly lets go. Navia walked the same road every morning. It was a narrow street with small shops, old trees, and familiar faces. She knew which shop opened first, where the road cracked near the corner, and which place stayed quiet even when the city woke up. She had walked this road for years. She walked it when life felt full of hope. She walked it when life felt certain. And now, she walked it even when her heart felt tired. Because this road reminded her of the past. Navia was not holding on to one thing. She was holding on to many small pieces of a life she imagined. She held on to unanswered messages, to birthdays that were once celebrated together, to a future she planned quietly in her mind. She remembered late-night talks, shared plans, promises that were never broken loudly, only slowly forgotten. The relationship did not end with anger. It ended with silence. And silence is harder to move on from. People around her said, "Be strong. Time will fix everything." But time does not fix what we refuse to release. One evening, Navia sat alone on a bench near the road. Cars passed. People walked by. Life moved forward. But Navia felt left behind. Holding on had started to change her life. She slept with her phone near her pillow, just in case a message came. She reread old conversations, even when they hurt. She stopped making plans for herself because she was afraid they would change. At work, she did her tasks, but her mind was always somewhere else. She wasn't crying every day. She was slowly disappearing from her own life. She told herself, "If I let go, it means it meant nothing." That belief kept her stuck. She thought pain was proof of love. She thought waiting was loyalty. So she stayed. Even when staying cost her peace. That evening, an old woman sat beside her. The woman ran the small fruit stall nearby. After a moment, she spoke. "You sit here often," she said gently, "but your eyes always look tired." Navia smiled faintly. "I'm just thinking." The woman nodded. "Thinking is good," she said, "but too much thinking can quietly steal your energy." Navia did not reply. After a pause, the woman asked, "Tell me something. Are you holding on because you want to, or because you are afraid of what happens if you let go?" The question felt heavy. Navia looked down at her hands. "I think I'm afraid," she said honestly. "Afraid that if I let go, I will have nothing left." The woman listened quietly. The woman spoke again. "Let me tell you a story," she said. "There was once a traveler crossing a river in a small boat. The boat was old, but it had carried him many times before. One day, in the middle of the river, the boat began to crack. Water slowly started coming in. The traveler tried to fix it. He tied ropes. He blocked the cracks with his hands, but the water kept rising. The traveler believed leaving the boat meant failure, but when the water reached his chest, he stepped out and swam to the shore. He survived." The woman looked at Navia. Leaving the boat did not mean the journey was useless, she said. It meant the journey had already served its purpose. Some things carry us only for a part of our life. Staying longer does not make us loyal. It only makes us tired. Something softened inside Navia. That night, Navia walked the road again. But this time, she noticed things she had ignored before. The trees were taller. New shops had opened. New people laughed where old memories lived. Life had moved forward quietly. She had not. Not because she couldn't, but because she was afraid to. The hardest part was not letting go of him. It was letting go of the version of herself who was waiting. The woman who planned her days around someone else. The woman who delayed her happiness. That version felt familiar, but it was also heavy. Growth does not live in waiting. Growth lives in choosing yourself. The next morning, Navia did something small. She turned off notifications from old conversations. She did not delete everything. She simply stopped checking. Her heart felt heavy, but for the first time in months, her mind felt quiet. Navia learned something important. Moving on does not mean you stop caring. It means you stop hurting yourself to prove that you cared. It does not erase memories. It gives them a place to rest. And strength does not always look like fighting. Sometimes, strength looks like releasing what no longer holds you. If you are holding on to something that once mattered, listen to this carefully. You did not imagine the love. You did not waste your effort. You were real, and that matters. But you are not required to keep hurting just to prove that something was important. Moving on does not erase what you felt. It protects who you are becoming. Letting go is not giving up. It is choosing peace over pain. It is choosing yourself without guilt. And that choice is strength. You are not weak for holding on, but you are brave for choosing peace. Some chapters end quietly, not because they were unimportant, but because they have already taught you enough. This was a story from Solvora Tales, where stories help us understand ourselves and remind us to listen to what we feel. Until the next story, be kind to yourself. You are allowed to move on.